tennis just witnessed a total collapse that left everyone speechless. And it didn't even happen at a Grand Slam. Coco Gauff's recent performance at the United Cup was more than just a bad day at the office. It was a complete statistical anomaly. Now, a growing group of fans is pointing the finger at Aryna Sabalenka for the blowout. Do you think a rival player can actually influence another player's game through bad karma? Or is that just a convenient excuse for a poor performance? Drop your theories in the comments below. So, let's talk about the match that essentially broke the tennis internet. We are at the United Cup, the dawn of the 2026 season, and Coco Gauff is supposed to be the titan leading Team USA to glory. Instead, she goes out and gets absolutely dismantled by Jessica Bouzas Monteiro. For those who don't follow the rankings religiously, Bouzas Monteiro is ranked 42nd. Coco is world number 4. On paper, this should have been a routine warm-up for the Australian Open. Instead, we got a scoreline that looks like a printer error. 6-1, 6-7, 6-0. Imagine fighting your heart out to steal a second-set tiebreak, showing that trademark Coco grit, and then immediately turning into a ghost in the third set. She didn't just lose the decider, she ate a bagel. A 6-0 loss in the final set for a player of her caliber is practically unheard of. But the score isn't even the weirdest part of this story. The weirdest part is the Sabalenka connection that fans are obsessed with. The theory goes like this. Aryna Sabalenka is playing 4D chess, and Coco Gauff is the pawn. The link is a man named Gavin McMillan. If that name sounds familiar, it's because he's the biomechanics expert who famously cured Sabalenka's serve back in 2022, when she was hitting double faults like they were going out of style. Coco, desperate to fix her own serve issues, hired Gavin last August. Since then, her serve hasn't exactly turned into a weapon. It's turned into a liability.
Oh, wow. In.
Fans are unironically fuming, claiming Sabalenka sent Gavin to sabotage Coco. One user on Reddit literally said, "Sabalenka sent Gavin to sabotage Coco. That's the only thing that explains this." It sounds like a spy thriller, right? But when you look at the stats, 14 double faults in a single match, you start to wonder if there's a secret remote control in Sabalenka's locker room. Sabalenka herself has mentioned in the past that she believes in karma. When she heard Coco was hiring her former serve doctor, she was polite, but fans are reading way too much into the subtext. Is it karma for Coco trying to steal the secret sauce that made Sabalenka a champion? Or is it just a classic case of a technical change making things worse before they get better? Speaking of things getting worse, let's talk about the tweet heard around the tennis world. About 30 minutes before she stepped onto the court to play Bouzas Monteiro, Coco Gauff was on her phone. Most players are listening to heavy metal or getting a massage. Coco was drafting a clarification tweet about how she thinks American fans are the worst at supporting their players. To be fair, her original comment was a bit spicy. She basically said that fans from smaller countries show up with flags and paint and energy, while American fans are a bit meh. Naturally, the US fans took that about as well as a kick to the shins. So, instead of focusing on the girl across the net who was about to bagel her, Coco was worried about her PR. Commentators were practically salivating at the chance to play psychologist, blaming her out-of-sorts performance on the pre-match social media drama. It's hard to hit a 120-mile-per-hour serve when you're worried about what someone in Kentucky thinks of your take on nationalistic passion. The match itself was a vintage Coco nonsense display. That's not my phrase. That's the general consensus from the fans who had to watch it. One set, she looks like a multi-slam winner. The next, she's hitting 54 unforced errors. It's like her game has multiple personalities, and today, the unforced error machine was the one that showed up for work. The dejected body language was the cherry on top. When Coco gets down on herself, she doesn't just look sad. She looks like she's contemplating retiring on the spot. Now, let's pivot to the Gavin factor again. People are saying Gavin should either be fired or given hazard pay for having to work on that serve. Sabalenka's serve was fixed in a few weeks. Coco has been at it for months, and she's arguably worse now than she was at the United Cup a year ago. Fans are pointing out that in 2023, even when her forehand was shaky, she would dogfight her way through matches. Now, she seems to just melt. Is it the pressure of being the face of American tennis? Or is it the ghost of Sabalenka's past success haunting her coaching box? There's also the Iga Świątek comparison. Fans have started calling Coco and Iga Western grip cousins because they both have these weird technical meltdowns that don't make sense for players of their level. But while Iga might lose a tough match to a big hitter, Coco is losing to players who shouldn't even be able to get her serve back. Except, of course, when her serve doesn't go in the box at all. I remember back in 2023 when Coco won the US Open. It was electric. It felt like she had finally arrived. But since then, it's been a series of peaks and valleys where the valleys are deep enough to hide a skyscraper. One fan noted that gone are the days where she can rely on a player running out of steam. The tour has figured her out. If you can stay steady and wait for the double faults, Coco will eventually give you the match. Jessica Bouzas Monero didn't even have to play incredible tennis. She just had to be there. It's actually quite sarcastic when you think about it. The world number 3 demanding more passionate fans while delivering a performance that makes people want to change the channel. Maybe the fans aren't the problem, Coco. Maybe the problem is hitting the ball from the frame and hoping it magically lands in, as Sabalenka once unprofessionally pointed out. Speaking of Sabalenka being unprofessional, remember her meltdown after losing to Coco at the French Open last year? She called the match a joke and said Coco didn't play incredible. She eventually apologized, calling herself not very smart at that press conference. But fans haven't forgotten. They see this latest blowout as Sabalenka's silent revenge. By allowing her coach to work with Coco, she's essentially Trojan horsed her biggest rival. It's brilliant if you believe in conspiracy theories. The reality is likely much more boring. Technical changes take time, and mental strength is a fickle thing. But in the age of 24-hour sports coverage and social media, boring doesn't sell. Sabalenka sabotaged Gauff with a sleeper agent coach, sells. And honestly, looking at that third set bagel, it's a lot more entertaining to believe in the sabotage than to believe that a top 5 player just forgot how to play tennis for 30 minutes. One fan summed it up perfectly. Tennis isn't officially back until a classic Coco match that's detrimental to my health. We all watched, hoping for the comeback from 0 to 5 down, because that's the Coco we know. But that Coco was too busy tweeting about flags and face paint. It's a tough lesson to learn. The court doesn't care about your social media presence. It only cares about where the ball lands. As we look toward the Australian Open, the question remains, can Gavin McMillan actually fix this? Or is he just the guy who fixed Sabalenka and then ran out of magic? If Coco keeps serving 14 double faults a match, she's not going to need a biomechanics expert. She's going to need a miracle. And maybe, just maybe, she should stop checking her mentions before she checks her toss. But hey, at least Taylor Fritz saved the day for Team USA, right? He had to save match points against Jaume Munar just to keep the team alive after Coco's sandwich break in the third set. It's a team event, but it feels like Coco is playing on her own island right now, and the tide is coming in fast. Let's look back at some of the great Coco collapses. There was the 2024 season where she caught fire in the autumn, only to freeze in the winter. Then 2025, where she excelled on clay but fell apart on hard courts. It's a pattern of streakiness that would make a weather reporter dizzy. Fans are tired of the "I'm still learning" narrative. She's 21, she's a multi-slam winner, and she's been on tour since she was 15. The young player excuse is starting to wear thin when you're being bageled by the world number 42. The sarcasm in the fan comments is reaching an all-time high. Don't know whether Coco should ask Gavin for a refund or Gavin should ask Coco for a bonus for hazard pay is a personal favorite. It really captures the frustration of the fan base. We want her to succeed, but it's hard to cheer for someone who is actively sabotaging themselves, whether or not Sabalenka is helping. If Sabalenka really is the PR manager and mastermind behind this, you have to hand it to her. She's won the mental battle without even being on the same continent. While Coco is clarifying her worst fans comments, Sabalenka is probably practicing her serve, confident in the knowledge that her biggest threat is currently arguing with people on X. It's almost impressive how much drama one match can generate. We have coaching conspiracies, fan insults, pre-match social media meltdowns, and a third-set bagel. If this is how 2026 is starting, we are in for a wild ride. But for Coco, the ride needs to level out. She needs to find that fighting spirit that usually saves her, because right now, all we're seeing is the dejected body language and the double fault spam. Maybe she should take a page out of Sabalenka's book. Not the biomechanics page, clearly, but the honesty page. Sabalenka admits when she's been not very smart. Coco tends to hide behind clarifications and observations. Sometimes you just have to admit that you played the worst tennis of the last few months, as Sabalenka did after her loss to Coco. Own the loss, fix the serve, and for the love of everything holy, stay off Twitter before a match. The fans are fuming because they know how good she can be. They remember the US Open win. They remember the electrifying matches. Watching her crumble like this is like watching a luxury car break down in the middle of a race. It's frustrating, it's confusing, and it makes you want to blame anyone, even a rival player who has nothing to do with the match. But that's the beauty of tennis, isn't it? The drama is never just on the court. It's in the coaching boxes, the press conferences, and the 280 characters of a tweet. Whether Sabalenka is the villain or just a bystander, she's become a central figure in the Gauff narrative. And until Coco can prove that hiring Gavin wasn't a mistake, the sabotage theories are only going to get louder. So as we head into the Australian Open, the pressure is on. Not just on Coco, but on Gavin, on Team USA, and even on the worst fans in the world. Will they show up with flags and paint? Or will they just show up to watch another double fault festival? Only time will tell. But one thing is for sure, we'll be watching, and we'll definitely be tweeting about it. It's also worth noting that after this singles disaster, Coco actually did bounce back in mixed doubles. She teamed up with Christian Harrison to secure the win for the USA. So the fighting spirit isn't completely gone. It just seems to take a nap during the singles matches. Maybe she just needs a partner to keep her off her phone? Or maybe she just plays better when the stakes are mixed. Either way, the conversation around her game is changing. It's no longer about potential, it's about consistency. And right now, the only thing consistent about Coco Gauff is the drama. From calling out her own fans to being bageled by Spain's second-best player, she's keeping us all on our toes. And as long as she's doing that, the Sabalenka sabotage theories will continue to flourish. The 2026 season is already giving us more drama than we can handle, and the United Cup was just the beginning. Whether you're blaming the coach, the fans, or a secret Belarusian plot, there's no denying that Coco Gauff has some serious work to do before Melbourne. What do you think? Will she bounce back? Or is the Sabalenka curse real? Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you never miss a beat of the tennis world's chaos. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you for the next breakdown.